invitation. Sitting on the throne alone tonight, I am your host, Hank Russell. I just found out I interviewed this guy's brother, and he was one of my top tier guests. Very friendly guy. This is the older brother, ladies and gentlemen, and he's going to be competing as well coming up. He just got there competing. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, Mr. Josh Baker. Hello, sir.
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Blessed and highly favored, I suppose, but
There's nothing
I was
wrong with
just going
that.
to no, I was just going to say that. So yeah, your brother, he just competed as well, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. So you said you're older. How old are you?
I'm almost 3 years older than him.
Okay, cool. We'll go with that. So tell me about your upcoming fight.
So I'm doing New Breeds Worlds tournament coming up here. I'm actually got bumped up to up a weight division, and I am going in the black belt division. So that's going to be quite interesting.
How close do you think you are to receiving your black belt?
Pretty close. I already beat 2 black belts this year. So I'm thinking at the end of the year, this year or next year. I'm hoping. We'll see.
Who is the guy that that's going to issue your belt?
His name is Nathan Lott. He is the owner of Excelsior Jiu-Jitsu. Great friend of
XL what?
mine. Excelsior Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, great friend of mine. Great coach. Love him. Love him to death.
And that's based out of
Zachary, Louisiana.
Zachary, Louisiana. Okay, okay. I'm just getting details because I've talked to guys from camps and dojos all over the world, and I'm assuming, is that where your brother is too?
Yes, sir.
Very cool, very cool. So what kind of expectation do you have for yourself as far as future endeavors? Are you trying to do this as a living, or is this just like a really strong passion?
Well, it started off as a passion of mine, but I am doing it as a living. I actually own my gym, Baker's Jiu-Jitsu, in St. Francisville, Louisiana. And I am trying to also. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying, I was just commending you. I was saying great.
Okay. Yes, sir. And yeah, and I'm also trying to. Ever since the UFC BJJ's been on the scene, I've been wanting to try to get to that. So I've been plan, trying to do. I'm going to do ADCC trials this year. See if I could get picked up from that, and we'll see how that goes.
This is why I do what I do. This is why I do this, because I used to compete as well years ago, probably,
Mhm.
and now I've always been in broadcasting. But one of the things I like to do is interview guys like you, and then hopefully, down the road, when something like that happens, I'll be like, I know that guy. I interviewed him.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why I do what I do. I try to help out. I really do. And the life of a combat competitor is very different than like a football player or a basketball player.
Oh, yeah. Totally different. And yeah, and I think thankful for guys like you to that help us, like, get us recognized and all that. I mean, it's hard enough trying to market ourselves, so I'm just thankful for people like you who kind of come and help us along.
Thank you for saying that. You're one of the few guys to say that. And honestly, between me and you, one of the things is that I hope to one day be the guy, but never to forget about the little man, so to speak.
Yeah, no, I totally get that.
I understand that there's only so many hours in the day and only so many weeks in your life, but
Mhm.
you can take time. People can take time. I'm giving you 15, 20 minutes here, and it's like it could be the end all be all sort of thing.
Exactly. Yeah, this could be like my stepping stool, to kind of help, and you know.
You just never know. I've interviewed power slap competitors. I've interviewed former UFC champions.
Mhm.
And I've interviewed, and in the past I've interviewed Contenders, so to speak, I guess you could say, like contenders. And I haven't interviewed a champion that has, or somebody that became a champion yet. But that's what I'm hoping one day is that I interview people that either become like a well-known commodity in their practice. So
Well, I'll tell you what, if I make it to UFC BJJ and become a champion, I'll come back on your show.
you can come back on there before then.
Oh, I'll do that too.
Yeah, you can come back on. Shoot, that's the thing about millions. You can come back on here. You can definitely come on here. If I'm not with millions, I'll still have you on. But I hope so. I hope that happens for you. I'm gonna be like, yeah, man, I'm interviewing the champ. I've interviewed him before, and now I want a rematch.
Exactly.
Okay, that made no sense, but still. Oh man, so what kind of so what weight class are you fighting at?
So I'm currently fighting at 145. I like 135, 145
I
for the
love it.
two weight classes I go with in between.
No, that's good. As long as you don't have to like dramatically cut,
Oh no. That's actually why I went up to 145. It's because I don't like cutting at all. So
Yeah.
and the way I look at it is some guys are cutting from like 160 to 145, and here I am, like that's like my natural weight. So I'm thinking like they're going to be more fatigued, get fatigued faster because of the weight cut, whereas I'm already at my natural weight, so I'm less likely to be fatigued.
I am ready to see the days where they shouldn't allow people to cut that much weight because it's hurting a lot of guys. I mean, Jose Aldo, was 8 pounds over. He's fighting at 145 and he was 8 pounds over. And that's just because sometimes you just can't do it no more. And quite frankly, you shouldn't do it no more.
Absolutely. I agree with that. I think weight cutting is one of the worst things you can possibly do.
I get it though. It's kind of necessary because it's a way around. There's always, if there's not like a structured rule about where you weigh in, then there would be chaos all over the place.
Yeah, I get that too. I just wish we could find a safer way of doing it.
I agree. And your age, like I said, you're probably in your early 20s, I'm assuming, or
Yeah, I'm
mid
23.
20s. Okay.
23.
You see, I fought when I was 23 and we didn't have the whole, you know, the science down to cut and weight. And that's where a lot of guys need to do now is they need to get down to the science of it. I don't care how nerdy it seems. I don't care how corny or quote unquote unnecessary that they think it is. You need to figure out a way to do this because you're going in there and you're going to roll around and you might pass out or something.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's not good, and I think we need to find a safer way. I like what kind of One Championship's doing with the hydration test, along with the weigh-ins.
Yes.
Even though it has been somebody came out and proved that you can even cheat that. So maybe one day we'll be able to figure something out.
You're always going to have card counters in the casino. That's just part of life.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's just part of it. I don't know how card counting works, but I'm not a conniving person either. I don't think so.
Correct. Yeah.
Man, so I'm ready. I'm ready to see like you branch out and stuff like that. Because here's the thing, though, too, because Louisiana. What part of Louisiana are you from exactly? Like I'm not. I know you said the city, but what part is it? Is it like southern, more northern Louisiana?
It's like we're north of Baton Rouge, like about 40 minutes north of Baton Rouge, so about
Okay.
mid.
Yeah, so you're kind of near where like Daniel Cormier grew up.
Oh yeah, Daniel Cormier grew up like in Lafayette, which also Dustin Poirier. We're about like an hour 40 minutes east of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess you can roughly say that we're kind of in that area, but also kind of not. So
Absolutely. And I keep mentioning these UFC fighters, but I mean the sport's been around for the majority of my life. So
Hmm.
And I look forward to the day that whether it's you or somebody else, but like some Brazilian jiu-jitsu fighters are, when you drop their names, people automatically know who they are that watch the sport.
Hmm.
That's the only thing right now. They got to figure out how to market it properly.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think the UFC does a pretty good job of marketing, though.
I think so too. I think that the only thing the UFC might have an Achilles heel on is realizing that the world is a lot smaller than it used to be. You got when the Ultimate Fighter came out, there were back then there was only maybe 50 channels 20 years ago,
Hmm.
and they capitalize on this. Now every new project they'll have their audience, but they won't be like the main spotlight anymore.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from with that. Um, Also, I think, but at the same time, the sport has grown tremendously because of the UFC. Because some people actually get mixed up now. They go, instead of being like, "Oh, the sport of MMA," they'll go, "Hey, you do UFC?" Because just because the name brand has just grown so much.
Yeah, I started watching UFC in 1999, and it was the thing. It's like it's like it wasn't MMA called MMA back then. It probably was, but everybody just said you're an ultimate fighter, you're a cage fighter sort of thing. Now it's like, so you do the UFC stuff, because it's a brand. I mean, it's the biggest brand in the world.
Right.
I mean, they're backed up by a $21 billion company. So what
Yeah.
made you start? So wait a second. At a brown belt, you started a gym.
So I opened it at purple belt.
I'm.
So
I thought that's a lot of balls to open up a gym when you're not a black belt.
a little bit. But I told my coach when I was a blue belt that, hey, I was thinking about opening a gym, and he kind of took me under his wing, kind of showed me the business aspect of it, and also kind of started investing into me a little bit more. And then he told me when after I got my purple belt, he's like, I think you're ready to open a gym. So
Yeah.
that's what I did.
No, and kudos to coach. I'm just yeah, because
Hmm.
I remember when I did it, when I fought, you weren't
Hmm.
really, it's not that it's illegal. It's just that it was dishonorable to teach when you're not a black belt, because the idea is that there's 5 belts, in between, or
Hmm.
there's 3 belts in between the white and the black. And the
Right.
black basically meant you were not only were you a master, you were a master at it, but you were also able to teach it, so to speak. So,
Hmm.
but at least you're kind of like learning by doing, and you'll be a black belt before you know it.
Hmm.
Is that your full time gig?
So I also own rental properties too, but I'm trying to make the gym my main gig, but it takes time to build a business.
Right. I wasn't as business savvy as somebody like you. You probably grew up on business savviness. I wasn't, and I always needed. I never had nobody around me to do that. So I tip my hat off to you at 23 years old that you're doing that. I'm clueless.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it now you don't see too many 23-year-olds these days trying to start a business. So
Not
especially
not
something that they're passionate about.
yeah, not from where I'm sitting. That's for sure.
Mhm.
What kind of So what can I expect from you as far as like, how many fights have you had?
Like in my whole jujitsu career.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh man, I've been doing it for about 10 years now, so it's in the hundreds. I'll say that it's probably about 100. There's a number that's probably like 160.
Right. Okay. And that's a good question, because my thing is that, I know guys that have been in the sport for years, like you have been, that barely have 50, because they barely have 50. So, I mean, I'm with you as
Right.
far as jujitsu goes, jujitsu competition.
Hmm.
Are you going to
Yeah.
try to go ahead?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, are you going to try to compete in mixed martial arts?
I thought about it, but then I decided I didn't really like getting punched in the face. Like I have a good I have a Muay Thai and a boxing background. That actually was my original plan, uh, back when I was like 16, but, fate kind of had a certain way, to bring me full round of just, keep me in jujitsu. So, and now that jujitsu fighters are actually starting to make money, there's no sense in me going and getting punched in the face when I could just grapple somebody, you know?
Right. No, I get it. And I just, it's smarter. And like I was telling you earlier, there is some marketing that's got to be there, so to speak.
Mhm.
And that's all it is. I mean, the sport has the great potential, but who's going to be the new star? There's got to be stars in the sport. There's got to be legendary jujitsu bouts. There's got to be,
Mhm.
Smart advertising. All these things have
Right.
to take place, and it'll trickle and snowball to guys like you.
Mhm. Yeah, like right now, like I think the UFC has a pretty good roster of like the big name guys, like Mason Fowler, Mikey Musumeci, guys like that. Um, but yeah, I think that they're kind of making the way for people like next generations like me to come in and start getting stardom off of that.
Very good. That's what I'm talking about. Um, so how's your brother doing?
Oh, he's doing great, man. He's actually gonna do ADCC trials with me in November.
Very
So
good.
he's gonna do a jujitsu competition, go back to jujitsu.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. And I want y'all to, before I let you go, I want y'all to keep in touch with me because I want to, I loved your brother. He was great. You've been equally as great tonight. It's been a pleasure. And once again, keep in touch with me. Let's write each other. If you want to come on, let me know how your bout went. If you want to come on before or after, then let me know. That being said, before I let you go, once
Hmm.
again, I want you to promote your fight in detail. Tell me where it is, when it is, and how guys like me at home can watch it.
So it is gonna be in Orlando, Florida, and it is gonna be New Breed Worlds. It's an up and coming organization in jujitsu. And it's their third world championship. And uh, I don't know if they will be broadcasting it. If they will be, it will be on YouTube, and I will post highlights of my fights on my YouTube channel after though.
Absolutely. And what is your YouTube channel?
It's Josh Baker BJJ.
Very good. Very good. That's what I'm talking about. Well, Josh, thank you for coming on, man. Let's do this again, okay? Don't
Will
be a
do.
stranger.
And I'll stay in touch. Thank you again for having me.
Of course, man. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been nothing but a pleasure talking to Josh, man. We're gonna wish him the best of luck, and pray for him that he has success in his journey. So y'all do that for me, please, because good, he's a young guy that's dipping in the world of business. So we keep him in our prayers and in touch all the time. Well, once again, you've been watching the Hank Russell Invitation. You could have been doing anything in the world tonight, but you decided to join Josh and I tonight, didn't you? And I love you every time you do it. Until next time, y'all have a pleasant evening.
Thank you.